Milka, let me invite you to come and close the conference. You opened the conference setting out what you hoped we would talk about, what we would achieve. Let's see if we've delivered on it.
I have no clue why did I accept to do this. Because I don't work in the area of pharma legislation. I have read many a report, I have heard many a discussion, but not a single time have I been this excited and enthusiastic after a pharma legislation discussion as I was today. So thank you for that. The second thing is we all came here to learn from each other, and I hope that that objective has been achieved by this event. For me, at least, certainly it has. I've learned a lot. Let me throw, also, I don't know why did I accept it, and my notes are all over the place, so bear with me. Let me throw a few reflections back at you. First, we learned about the novel medicines platform, and how it opens opportunities for all of us, civil society, public sector, private sector, to work together and to agree on the actions that will improve patient access to innovative medicines. That's the aim. Secondly, it was made crystal clear that new antibiotics are needed, punto, as part of the toolbox to address the increasing AMR. Equally important, we learned that it is critical to ensure timely access to existing antibiotics, along with the stewardship measures to ensure that they're used prudently. We then learned that it is equally important to consider the equity aspect, and that has been really strongly emphasized. Thank you for that, as was the comprehensive, systemic, big picture approach, and thank you for that as well. And also the importance of asking the right frigging questions, right? It is not the question how to draw big pharma in, but the question is how to achieve equitable, affordable access to medicines for all. We then, there she is. We then discussed the global dimension of EU pharma legislation, which is missing from the picture at the moment, and the global health threats clearly cannot be addressed and sorted out by a Eurocentric approach. Oh, I was taking them clockwise. Interesting. Okay. Also, we discussed the outrageous costs of that comes with the transferable exclusivity that thing voucher, and the fact that the vouchers that was never actually tested and proven to be effective. That I found shocking. We also heard that milestone prices look as an option that performs better than any voucher, which was also interesting. Okay. Also, the proposals that HERA has on the table also seem useful enough at the moment. And I think for me, the key takeaway from the first panel is that what we need is political will and funding to move it all forward. So the moment is right. There is enough political momentum for us to actually all together push the member states to drop the vouchers and move on with other or more types of incentives. So that's my takeaway. And you may have taken another set of takeaways. In the second sessions, we untangled the fair medicines pricing and ensuring the transparency of R&D costs. Interesting for me to learn was about the real complexity behind and the lack of transparency behind the R&D cost for new medicine. And one can't help wondering, how is it possible that in Europe, where we shout from the rooftops about how great we are on transparency, that in the third decade of the third millennium, the companies use public funding in R&D, and then they're allowed flexibility on price setting without any transparency on their actual investment. That I find shocking. We also speak about fair prices for medicines as justifiable, predictable, cost-effective within the aims and priorities of the healthcare systems, and so, blah, blah. But the balance between the cost of bringing a product to the market and its final price does not sit right. Then we spoke about the fact that the revision of the pharma legislation has opened the opportunity to request information, right, from pharmaceutical companies about the public funding contributions. And we have heard examples of good practices in fighting for the transparency. And what's critical for me is that it has to be done with public interest in mind, and public interest as the key concept. We have also heard about open science as a solution versus research data protection and IP rights protection, about cost-based and value-based pricing models, about revenue by price versus revenue by volume. And I actually really enjoyed the fact that we ended up on champagne prostitutes and political corruption, because that makes every discussion so much more fun. So for me, one thing is clear, and that is that the EU cannot allow the pharmaceutical package not to be defined and based on European values. It has to ensure that the citizens are at the center. And the question is whether we are late for the sailing boat, and I think we are not. The package for the pharma package can still ensure transparency in all processes, particularly on EU investments. It can address issues such as the unmet medical needs, such as the shortages, costs, incentives. But I think it's critical that it is driven by the authenticity of our values and based on equity, availability, affordability for all, not only in Europe, but globally. So just to close and then let you enjoy lunch and networking. Well, we in EPHA, as well as in the Alliance, we are ready to engage. We are really looking forward to working further with you together. So make sure to contact the team EPHA here today and work together on actions in 2024. And before we dive into 2024, I wish you all to relax and enjoy some quiet moments, books, dogs, hugs, whatever you need to rest from this year. Thank you.